So we're going to be doing density in a cup, which works on density, observing, and classifying. This is what it should look like in the end. At least mine did. Yours could be a lot more colorful if you had food dye to dye the liquids, but I unfortunately didn't, so whatever color they just so happen to be is what color they will be. So first you start out with an empty cup, and in my lesson plan it says to start with maple syrup, but I don't have that, so we're going to be starting with the second liquid, which for me is honey. What you do is you fill it in the cup. The taller and longer your cup is, the better, because it makes it look like there's more liquid. And the wider it is, you need more to use, so it's better to use a smaller cup. It's the best I could do. So there's my first layer, and next we have dish soap, which mine happens to be green, and you lay it on top. For these liquids so far, you have to make sure that they don't touch the side, because then it will affect how it looks later. So you can already see that separation happening, because honey happens to be more dense than dish soap. So honey stays at the bottom while dish soap stays at the top. Now next we have water. For water, you need to have a turkey baster, that's what it's called, because it needs to go on the edges, unlike the other two. So you take your water in your baster, it's kind of hard to show, and you drip it on the sides. The more careful you are, the better it should look at the end. So I kind of messed it up a little bit, but the water is still separating. There's just a few bubbles in there, which is fine because you can still see that difference. And then next is your oil. Oil and water is what you usually use for density, just those two together, but you can also do it how we are. Once again, you have to use your turkey baster. There we have that good separation. It's hard to see because, once again, both of these are clear liquid. I also recommend, if you're using the turkey baster, to have a separate cup of water to kind of clear it out in between so you don't mix up the liquids. And then for us, the final liquid is alcohol, rubbing alcohol. So that one, while it's still a little bit white, you can see that difference. It's hard to see the top three layers, but for you, I can see it well, but for the camera you guys can't, but there is a distinct separation. There are more liquids you can add. You just have to look, you can add any liquid, you just have to look up their density beforehand to know which layer to put it in. But if I were to put, let's say, I never did put dish soap and I wanted to put it now, it wouldn't work well. So here is our density in a cup.